So I am entering a new listing, and I thought it might be a good idea to videotape this so I could send it out to you guys. I'm working on Matrix here, and I got a little bit far into it before I realized I wanted to do this, so I'm going to start right from the beginning. Once you're signed into the Matrix, there's some tabs up here at the top that have a lot of different information, and so you're going to click on Add Edit, and then you're going to add a new listing right here. And then I'm going to do a residential ad. And then this one is in Cleveland County. And then I'm going to put the tax ID in. And I went on to the Cleveland County Assessor and I printed out this sheet right here. And you can see the account number right here. It's right here. Oklahoma County has that. If you're doing a different county, then you might not have information and you might just have to go right in here and add the address and do it fresh. But I like to populate from the county because it fills in a lot of things for you. So I put in the tax code there, I check the correct county, and I hit search. And then it shows me the address option, and I click the fill button. Now I don't want to have two, so I'm going to cancel out right here and go to my incomplete listings because I actually already had it filled. So I'm going to go to my drop down menu and find my incomplete listing. So once you hit fill, it will turn into a page like this, and it will have pre-filled for you the address and some random information like the legal address and stuff. I had to put in lot and block, and again I got that from my county paperwork right here. It says Creekwood Estates Lot 2 Block 7. So that's how I got that information. And everything in yellow is what you need to fill out, and you can always save as incomplete if you don't have the information and come back. So I don't know the area, I'll have to go to the map and look for that, so I'll come back and get that at a later time. If it's not yellow, you can go ahead and add it in if you want to. Like this is Blueberry Drive, and so I want to go ahead and fix that to read properly. And there's no southwest or anything on here, so I'm not going to use that. Then you come over here and you click Get Latitude Longitude from Address, which I've already done that. You click the button and it maps it out for me right there. And then you just kind of look at it and make sure it's correct because it's going to help people to find it on the map, so you always want to do that. I've put in my list price and used exclusive right to sell because that means that it's not exclusive representation, but I'm the listing agent, but everybody else has the ability to bring me offers. I put in my list date as today. It depends what your list contract says. This is a single family property and it expires, my contract expires at the end of the year, and then I gave driving directions. You want to make sure that you've driven these directions before and that they're really good, especially if they're out in the country. And if you are looking at MapQuest like I did up here, and I kind of looked and moved things around, especially if you're out in the country, you want to make sure that you have checked that yourself to make sure that the roads have the same names, because often they do not. On the map it might show like County Road 123 and it might actually be Rabbit Road when you're out there looking at the sign. So you're just going to click the next page, general information. It says 3 beds, no half baths. I checked the square footage against the county. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do that. I'm going to go out here and click on my tab that I have at the top. Let's see if I can. I have a tab where I already have the county assessor's page up, and I went to sketches, and then here's the sketch, and if you scroll down then it shows you what the sketch is consisting of. And so I've been in the house, so I know that it has an enclosed porch, which is 364 square footage, and it's legitimately enclosed, so we're going to include it in the square footage. And then the first floor right there. So I added that together and made sure that that added up to what I put in, because sometimes it's wrong. And it's always best to go with an appraisal value if you can get it. So since I don't have an appraisal value, I'm going to go with courthouse records. This one is a 2-car garage, but it also has a shop. So we could put 2-car garage, or we could put however many the shop has. I'm going to go ahead and advertise this as 6 because somebody, if they were looking for a 3-car garage, would be pretty happy to have the shop instead of a 3rd-car garage. So I'm gonna, because it's big enough to park 4 cars in it. Actually, I'm just gonna say 4, and then the other one's a 2. Property faces east. To some people that's important, and so you might want to include that. It's 2.1 acres. That's off the county assessors. It is partially chain fenced. There's no flood insurance. Yes, they can have livestock. There currently is a homestead exemption. That means that the homeowners are using it as their primary residence. You can answer these or not answer these as they relate. There's no reserved items. Property is 1 level. It's existing construction. The foundation is a slab, which means that it's a cement slab, not lifted up to the ground with wood. Composition roof, I haven't asked them to fill out the disclosures yet, and so I don't know what year that was. Parking. There's asphalt. There's gravel. And I'm going to go ahead and put RV parking because there's plenty there because it's a land and you never know when somebody might be searching by that. The lot is wooded. Building design is traditional. You can just make up your own mind on what you feel like it is. Brick and frame construction. I don't know about the insulation. I don't know about the windows. They're probably just older, original. Most of the time, if you have a new construction or a builder, you'll want to get this information here. It does not have a storm shelter, and it has an attached garage. The heat, I'm going to leave that blank for now because I don't know if it's electric or gas. And the school system is Dell City. I believe that's under actually Mid-Dell. And I'm going to go ahead and look up the schools, but I don't have that right now. Mandatory association fee. I don't know because they have gravel roads. I bet they have to pay for them, so I'm going to wait and answer that. Special zoning district, no. I've already filled out my public remarks on my another website, so I'm just going to copy and paste those. Copy and paste and make sure that it shows everything, and it does. On the other websites, you can put your name and stuff like that and your telephone number. So if you're copying and pasting, make sure you remove that because you can't put any identifying information. I like to put 1% earnest money. It's not required, but I don't want a $500 earnest money check. And I'd be happy with probably about $1,000, but I'd like to get 1% if I can. Made payable to title company. Buyer's choice. Thanks for showing. Please lock up. Okay, we scroll back up and then the next tab. Room information, you can use this or not. I'm going to put 2 living areas because it has a big room off the back that could be used as a study or game room or something. And I'm also going to put yes on study just in case somebody's looking for a study. And for now, I'm going to skip all these rooms, but you could do, I'll just do one here. Let's say living room has a ceiling fan and it has a fireplace. And I'll say remodeled because it's got new carpet and paint. They painted all the woodwork. It looks pretty nice. See if it'll let me do sunken because it is sunken. You have to step down. Although honestly, I'm not going to put that. It does have a vaulted ceiling. I think that's more important to include. And then you can put the measurements on the room here if you have it. And if you want to add more rooms, you just click this little more button and you do, let's say, master bedroom. And we'll say that it has a ceiling fan, double vanities, a full bath, remodeled shower. That's probably good enough. So I'll come back and do those rooms later after I kind of remind myself with the pictures. Next tab is features. It does have one fireplace, and it is masonry. That means you can put wood in it. It also has a blower. No pull. Interior features is combo woodwork, laundry room. This is really important on exterior features. People shop by, does it have a workshop? So we want to say, make sure, this one has a workshop, so you want to make sure, and you know, if you have ponds or workshops or, you know, outbuildings, you definitely want to include that because those are things that people search by. It's garage door opener. Smoke alarms. And I need to double check on the utilities, but you put here if it's got the well or septic or whatever. Now here you would fill out about that range oven and stuff, but I think it's all electric, but I just don't want to answer those and then have them be wrong until I double check. The floors, we have carpet, and we have tile, and we have wood. Other rooms, we've got a big add-on room. So I'm going to call it a game room. And an inside utility. Go ahead and list that it could be an office too because it's big enough to split in two. And I'm going to put that workshop again. That's important. It has a fireplace blower that he's leaving. And then no other green features that I'm aware of. So we're going to scroll up and hit listing office information. Is it a variable dual rate? That means if you sell it, are the sellers going to pay less in agency fees? The only way that that would be yes is if you said, if I sell it, instead of charging you this much, I'll charge you this much. So mine is a no, and I'm offering 3%, and you have to do 3.00% sign. If you're offering a bonus to the selling broker, you put it here. Don't make the mistake of putting that in there unless you are actually offering a bonus or it comes out of your commission. On this one, I'll put occupied no. The showings are show assist. The service type is full service. Entry only or limited service would mean that you're just doing exactly what it says, limited service. It has an MLS key, and I'll put MLS key is located, on shop door under the cover. Key works for shop and for office entry. Generally, I don't like people not to come to the front door, but that's the only option we had here. I put please lock up tight, turn off all lights except office porch. Because I don't want them walking up in the dark and not being able to find the house, you know. Internet listing, yes. Internet address display, yes. Internet automated value display, no. Third-party comments, no. It already pre-filled the tax amount for me. If it didn't pre-fill for you, you would have to go on to, and I'll show you real quick, on Cleveland County Assessor, I would click Tax, and then I would click this button right here, and it would take me to the county treasurer's website, and you could look up and see what they've paid over the previous years. And also, it would be good to know if the taxes were paid or behind. Sometimes people are behind on their taxes. Assumable, I'm just going to put unknown. We almost never, well, I've never done an assumable. Loan qualified does not apply. Possession at funding. That means they're not going to get possession of the house early or anything. On the warranty, I don't ask the sellers up front to do the warranty, but if they had one that would transfer, we would click yes right here. Are there any conditions affecting the sale? Like if it was leased or whatever. There's not. Terms of sale, you don't have to fill this out, but I always like to put sell FHA VA. That lets people know that I feel like it's in good enough condition to go ahead and go with the loan. Any type of government loan would be okay. So I do that. So now what you're going to do is you're going to hit submit listing, and it's going to give you all these little red marks and tell you where your problems are. And I can see that I didn't put conditions affecting sale, so I'll go down and put none. And then up here there's another one on the tab, and so I click that, and it's probably the stuff I intended to leave blank, so that's fine. And then on the address, also the area and stuff like that. So if you don't know what's wrong, you just click this little button here and it will tell you what's wrong. And if everything's right, it's still going to give you this error and say that you must upload at least one photo. So at that point, if everything was correct, you would save as incomplete. If you do not save as incomplete, everything you did will just be lost. So always hit save as incomplete. Even like if you're nervous about it in the middle of your tabs, you can always scroll down and hit save as incomplete. Now I want to add my photos, but first I want to show you how to go find the MLS map number. So we're going to go back to our home page, and yours may look different than this because you can like sort them around in different areas. But I'm going to go right up here to links. I think it's at links. Yeah. And then right here, MLS links map. This is really old school, and we really wish that they would just take this out, but apparently there are still people that search by this. So you're just going to follow your highway until you see where it is, and you can zoom in right here. They don't actually make it very easy for you to do. So this one's on 240, and then they don't even have the streets here, so you have to go up here and look at the street names. So it's on 240 and Henny right here. So here we go, 240 and Henny, and then I gotta take it all the way down past the highway so that I can see, and you can see that, darn it, okay, shoot, that makes it difficult. I think that it's right here in 306. It's kind of hard to tell. You have to look at the gray lines. Yeah, that's 306. But I do need to see what road this is to make sure I'm on the right side of the road. So I'm going to put my finger on there and scroll over, and that's 119th Street. So that is correct because we're on 104th. So it's in 306. So go back to add edit, find my listing, residential add edit, area 306, save as incomplete. Now I'm going to add edit my photos. So sometimes you might not want to do your photos right away. You might have to come back and do them at a later time. So instead of doing it from here, I'm going to show you just how to start it, how to find that. So you're going to click add edit, and then here's my incomplete listing, and you can tell it's the incomplete because it has I, and it says manage photos, and you're going to browse, and then it's going to browse my computer, so you have to know where you put your photos. And I'm just going to upload just one so you don't have to sit through this whole thing. I had aerial shots done on this. Actually, I'm going to upload a few here. So I'm going to choose all of these. And your computer may be different. Mine, you do that by holding Control and then clicking each one. And then click the Open button. And it will upload up to 36 photos at once. And then the one that you show here is your primary slot. And if I wanted to drag this around, I would just click this and then slide it over, and it would change positions. So I want to show you a little something that I do just to kind of save me some time, because sometimes when you get photos from your vendor, you'll get a ton of them, and you want to make sure that you get the right ones. So I just slide over I make a new folder like this, and I just slide over the ones that I don't want to use into that folder, so that when I go to upload these, I can just choose easily the ones I want. But I've got, let's see here, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 56, 57, 9, 60. I've got 61, so I've got a little bit of editing to do before I can just easily upload those. So I'm not going to make you sit through that. So let's say for now that I was done here, so I would just click Save. And then you manage your supplements. This is where you add your property condition disclosures. I don't have those from him yet, but I would put property condition disclosures right here, and then I would choose File, and then I would go to my Dropbox file with my client, and I would choose the PDF version that I've scanned of his property condition disclosures, and I would determine what kind of report I'm putting up there, and then just hit this upload button right here and save, and it would put your disclosures up there. So right here is also on the modify listing where you can do your open house. If you paid for a virtual tour link, you can put it on there, which I did. So I'm going to go to my nested tours, and I'm going to use my unbranded video, because you're not allowed to put branded or unbranded tour, actually, because you're not allowed to put branded videos or anything where a buyer can determine it actually won't even let you upload it. So I'm going to copy and then paste that into Manage Virtual Tours. If you don't do that, then the MLS will make a property panorama tour for you. So if you just paid somebody to take pictures, or if you just took them yourself, when you add the photos into the MLS, it actually will, I think it just automatically makes you a property panorama within 24 hours. And see right there, you can go create your own and make it all nice. And there's some nice features there. So the next thing I want to do is I want to enable showing time for the listing. Oh, sorry, I can't do that right now because it's not live. So when it is live, I can do that. So I am really kind of at a standstill at this point because I have to go get the other information, and I'm not ready to make it live. So I went to my home, clicked on my incomplete listings. There it is right here. I can take a look at it and see how it looks right now and read it, make sure that it's looking good. And also I'm going to print this off so that I can know what I need to gather up and finish my listing and make it look good. That is all.